Hey, Nation, we're back with Park Place. And over the last couple of quarterly briefings, we have found they have really expanded their portfolio of both services and solutions and products. We're here with Jordan MacPherson. Good day, Jordan.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to
The
be.
big cold front going across the nation. I'm feeling it down here in Austin. Are you impacted by the cold front today?
Well, I think what we say here in Cleveland is if you don't like the weather, just wait, right? We've gone through the four seasons these last couple of days. I think it was 60 degrees earlier this week, and I think we got a winter storm tonight. So,
Well, there we go. Hey, we're going to talk about Parkview Network Management. So give us the 411. What is this tool all about?
well, to start with, it's more of a service than a tool. We're really focused on delivering network outcomes for our customers. So, folks that lack either a skills gap or have enough people to kind of properly keep up with the network, we're focused on augmenting their teams, right? So whether that's
Okay.
through timely actionable alerts or a patch management cadence, break fix remediation at 2 a.m. on a Saturday, we're there to support them.
Okay. Okay, cool. And as I was looking over the brochure, there was the term force multiplier. I like that term. I think I'm going to steal that. What's basically you're describing what you just described, right? That you're additive.
Yeah, our goal is not to take anybody's job or anything. It's to make them more effective, to allow them to scale a little bit better, focus on the projects that are going to drive value for their business, as opposed to getting caught up in the chores related to maintaining a network. Right? We used to call it care and feeding, maybe. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm looking at the support tiers. It says base is, it sounds, is sort of the base service, plus, and then full. Do you want to delineate between the three levels of support tiers?
Sure. Yeah. So base is really focused on monitoring, smart escalation, so including reaching out to other vendors like an ISP or an OEM, notification based on a ROTA or impact, right? Taking steps to reach a root cause type pieces. We also offer telephone advice and guidance. So if there's a question about, what are you guys seeing with Log4j? Am I affected? Sometimes we just need a sounding board in IT, right? It's hard to work in a bubble.
Yeah.
And then as you work up the stack to plus, that's where we go from kind of watchers and notifiers to remediation. So actioning those events on behalf of the customer. So actually logging into the network equipment and making a fix. It's also our patch management. So we get into that regular cadence of making sure that everything's up to date and secure. And then when we get to full, that's really more for, the customer that has that gap, right? They don't have a networking team. It's maybe a director and a Windows or a VMware resource, and the network is just sort of, there's not enough of it to justify having somebody on staff, and they'd like to, get rid of that responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And as I look over here and I'm staring at your flyer, at quarterly health checks, do you also do quarterly business reviews, QBRs? Is that analogous to that? Or is
It,
that,
it
go,
is.
go ahead.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So, when we talk about communication paths with a customer, right, we like to touch at least once a week from a manager to manager. Are there any problem tickets? Have there been any issues? Is there anything we should be aware of this week as far as, the CEO is going to be in our, Boston location. So, if you could keep a closer eye on it, that would be great. Right. So those sorts of standard meetings. From a QBR standpoint, the focus then becomes what's the state of the union, right? What do we see in the environment? What's been kind of noisy and problematic? What changes we recommend? But we also want to ensure business alignment. So understanding what our customers are working on and how we might be able to make a better recommendation for what they could be doing or a path they could go down. making sure that we take that feedback into our improvement cycle on our offerings. So, if we start to hear a lot of, push around, SD-WAN's kind of old hat, but I'll use it as a filler here, right? Maybe we start to build a specific offering or make sure that we have capabilities there and that we're aligned kind of organizationally and not so much the tactical.
And finally, what's the size of entities you work with? By definition, I am SMB Nation. So I'm always kind of curious. Clearly, this would work at the enterprise level. How low do you go?
You know what? It's funny. It does work at the enterprise level, and I think it works just as well in that small, medium size too, and for different reasons, right? I think that, in the enterprise, it's easier to take pieces of this and work with a partner and the way their budget cycles. But on the SME, we have some customers with as little as 10 or 15 network devices that we're working with to manage for them, because they just there's kind of the great resignation and staff shortages, right? It can be difficult to find or to justify having a full-time network resource, right, to take care of these things. And so when you get into that fractional resource model, managed services make a ton of sense. And our processes are built around efficiency. So the size doesn't really change for us how we engage.
No, we'll call that a win. Well, thanks for being on our quarterly briefing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.